to 50 movies in 50 weeks. I'm your host, Joey Hollywood, and I'm trying to get through all 50 movies in this box set in 50 weeks. The movie I watched today was called Counterblast from the year 1948, and I'm really enjoying the diversity of this box set. We got like a movie from the 40s this week. Last week we had one from the 80s. Next week we got one from the 70s, and the week after that we got one from the 50s. So we are getting just a whole bunch of different styles and sometimes genres on this box set. It's been really refreshing. But I'm afraid this has to be one of the most boring movies we've watched on this this channel so far. It's a spy thriller or detective thriller. No, it's a spy thriller. Sorry, movies from this time, spy thrillers and detective thrillers have kind of like a similar vibe going on. Like Dr. Decker is the villain from the first Batman movie. The guy in Yellowface. I don't know why I went there. The Yellowface, maybe. But the Boris Karloff, Detective Wong, that was what I was thinking of. But like those Detective Wong movies, they basically could be like spy thrillers, even though they're detective movies. Let me get back to the subject at hand. First and foremost, before I get into how boring this movie was, I want to talk about the print of it. This is the worst print you could possibly get a hold of this movie. I don't know if there's a better print out there, but if for whatever reason you want to watch this movie, please seek out a better print than that's on this disc. It is terrible, like almost just like let's say the native picture is this big, right? This much of the screen is cut off, so you're only getting this much. And it is very distracting, especially when there's words on the screen, because it's like cut off. You're only getting the middle part of a sentence. It's a very, very bad print. Just not just grainy, but it's got the digital grain on it. It's horrible, and it's very long too. It's one of the longer movies on here. It says 99 minutes, but I believe it was longer than that. I think it was almost 2 hours. And it was not fun. One of the funnier things about this movie is someone gets shot and they go, ouch! That was one of the funnier aspects of the film. But the movie just kind of has this malaise of boredom that you go throughout. I don't know, this seems like the kind of movie that back when I used to draw a lot and I just wanted noise, I would put like garbage like this on. Just not something I was really engaged with, but just something that was like just noise. And as I watched it, I was trying so hard not to like go on my phone for anything other than writing notes down. There's a doctor in this movie named Dr. Forrester, not Dr. Clayton Forrester from War of the Worlds or from Mystery Science Theater, which I talk about a lot in this channel. His name's like, I think, James Forrester. Not that it matters. It just, every time they said it, I was like, oh man, I wish I was watching Mystery Science Theater right now. Or I wonder if they could have made this movie better. See, the last movie I watched on here that I didn't recommend, it was because the movie didn't really come together for me. It was just a bunch of like scenes and weird things, and I was like, I more so just wish I could have watched it with someone. This, I really didn't really want to watch at all. It's so far the closest thing to those peplums that we watched that one year where I was just completely disengaged. Luckily, I don't think we're going to get a lot of these on here, but it's a very boring movie. It's got a German doctor who's killing people in the most like conspicuous way possible. He's like, do you mind if I listen to music? And he like cranks it up, and he's like, do you want me to call for room service? I don't want you to call anybody. And he's like speaks super creepy, and everyone's like, oh, that's a weird reaction. And then he kills them. And then there's long scenes of talking and almost no progression in story, just time. Progression of time and nothing else. It is a very dull movie. Was not a fan of it. And I do not recommend it. But hopefully I can recommend next week's movie. And we'll have to find out together next week. So I'll see you then. Remember, please be kind and rewind.